Did God really say that you must not eat from every tree?
In a garden of perfect beauty, one question sparked the very first doubt. Curiosity whispered where trust once lived, and a single choice changed everything. Paradise was lost, innocence shattered, and the first prophecy of hope was born. Stay with me and witness the story that started it all.
Prologue. The stillness of Eden. The Garden of Eden was more than scenery. It was peace made visible. Every leaf glowed with life. Rivers moved like living glass through fields that never withered. In this world untouched by pain, Adam and Eve walked side by side, their hearts in rhythm with their Creator's voice. Jehovah had formed Adam from the dust, breathed into him the gift of life, and placed him in this garden not as a wanderer, but as its caretaker. Every tree responded to his touch. Every creature recognized his voice. Work was joy. Obedience was freedom. Eve joined him, bone of his bones, flesh of his flesh, a companion perfectly matched. Together, they reflected Jehovah's image, intelligent, loving, capable of endless growth. They could eat freely from every tree, every fruit except one. That single boundary stood in the middle of paradise. From the tree of the knowledge of good and bad, you must not eat. It was not an unfair limit. It was a reminder that life and freedom were gifts, not self-made. In their obedience, love for their Maker would stay pure. For a time, obedience came easily. No shadow existed to test their loyalty, but somewhere, in a realm they could not see, rebellion had already begun. The subtle approach. One morning, the garden shimmered beneath calm light. Eve walked alone among the trees, tracing the colors of fruit, listening to the river's rhythm. Near the center stood the tree that was not hers to touch, beautiful, radiant, untouched. Then came a sound, not the rustle of leaves, but a voice, clear, intelligent, unexpected. Did God really say that you must not eat from every tree? A serpent moved among the branches, its eyes bright with unnatural awareness. Eve paused, curious, unafraid. No creature had ever spoken before. "We may eat from the trees of the garden," she replied, "but God has said we must not eat from this one, nor touch it lest we die." The voice softened, almost kind. "You will not die. God knows that when you eat from it, your eyes will be opened. You will be like God, knowing good and bad." The words slipped beneath her guard. The fruit looked harmless, more than harmless, beautiful. Why would knowing good and bad be wrong if they were made in God's image? For the first time, a seed of doubt took root where trust had lived. She reached out. Her fingers brushed the skin of the fruit. The world did not darken. Nothing struck her down. So she ate. The taste was sweet, yet unsettling. She turned, found Adam nearby, and offered him the same. He hesitated, perhaps only for a heartbeat, but love for her overpowered obedience to God. He ate. The awakening. The moment was quiet. Too quiet. Then awareness struck like lightning. They felt exposed, vulnerable. What had once been pure now seemed wrong. They looked at each other and turned away, hastily weaving leaves to cover themselves. Shame entered where innocence had dwelt. The peace that once filled the air now felt thin, fragile. The serpent was gone. The fruit hung broken on the branch, and paradise felt smaller. The voice in the garden evening came. The light softened. A breeze moved through the trees. It was the hour when Jehovah's presence had always brought joy. But this time, fear replaced welcome. Adam and Eve hid among the foliage, trembling as the voice of their Creator called out. "Where are you?" Adam answered from behind the leaves. "I heard you in the garden, and I was afraid because I was naked, so I hid." Jehovah's question came, not in anger but in sorrow. "Who told you that you were naked? Did you eat from the tree from which I commanded you not to eat?" Adam's words stumbled. "The woman you gave to be with me, She gave me fruit, and I ate. Eve's voice followed. The serpent deceived me, and I ate. For the first time, blame divided what love had joined. The judgment begins. Jehovah's response carried both justice and grief. Each word was precise, eternal. To the serpent, he declared, "Because you have done this, you are cursed. Upon your belly you will go, and dust you will eat all the days of your life. And I will put enmity between you and the woman, and between your offspring and her offspring. He will crush your head, and you will strike his heel." The prophecy was the first promise of deliverance, an assurance that evil would not win. To the woman, Jehovah said, "I will increase your pain in childbirth. Your longing will be toward your husband, and he will dominate you." To the man, he said, "The ground is cursed because of you. By painful toil you will eat from it all the days of your life. Thorns and thistles it will produce, and by the sweat of your face you will eat bread until you return to the ground, for from it you were taken. Dust you are, and to dust you will return." The words fell like heavy rain on soil once perfect. Paradise still stood around them, but they were no longer part of it. The Creator's sorrow filled the air as tangibly as the scent of broken fruit. The covering silence hung in the garden after the sentence was spoken. No birds sang. The river seemed to slow, as though creation itself grieved. Then Jehovah acted with tenderness that cut through the gloom. He took the skins of animals and made garments for Adam and Eve, strong, lasting, protective. The act was simple, but its meaning was deep. Their own coverings of leaves had been temporary, powerless. Jehovah's gift replaced shame with care. Even in discipline, his love endured. The couple felt the weight of mercy, proof that though they had broken trust, he had not withdrawn compassion. The departure. At the edge of Eden, the garden blazed with evening light. Jehovah stood with them one last time in the world he had made for them. They could still hear the hum of life behind them, the flowing rivers, the rustle of untouched leaves, the fragrance of flowers that would never fade. Ahead stretched unworked soil, wide and silent. It would now resist their hands. Rain and sun would no longer come in perfect balance. The world was still beautiful, but it had changed. Jehovah spoke once more, not in anger, but with solemn clarity. "The man has become like one of us, knowing good and bad. He must not reach out his hand and take also from the tree of life, that he may eat and live forever." Then he sent them out of the garden to cultivate the ground from which Adam had been taken. As they crossed the threshold, light flared behind them. Cherubs appeared, beings of blazing power, guarding the way to the tree of life. A sword of flame turned, flashing in every direction, sealing the entrance. The sound of it echoed through the trees, and Eden became memory. The first night. Outside darkness settled differently now. Before, night in Eden had felt like rest. Now it carried the chill of distance. Adam and Eve built a small shelter from branches and leaves. They sat in silence, listening to unfamiliar sounds, the cry of wild animals, the rustle of the wind across open fields. Every heartbeat reminded them of what had been lost. Eve wept. Adam reached for her hand. They had no words to describe the emptiness, yet even in sorrow they felt the steady pulse of life Jehovah had given them. That life was now their responsibility to guard and continue. Morning came. The first sunrise outside paradise broke through mist and dust. They rose to begin their new work, tilling soil that fought them, planting seed that grew slowly, learning hunger, learning patience. Each thorn that pricked their skin was a reminder of disobedience, but also of hope. If pain could grow from sin, perhaps redemption could grow from obedience. The children of exile time passed. Eve bore children, the first cries of new life piercing the silence where once angels sang. Pain marked every birth, yet joy followed, the proof that Jehovah had not withdrawn the power to create. Adam taught his sons to till the soil, to build, to respect the Creator who still sustained them. He spoke often of the garden, the sound of rivers, the voice that had once called him by name. They told their children about the serpent, about the choice that had changed everything, and about the promise Jehovah had made, that one day, an offspring would crush the deceiver. Generation after generation would carry that promise forward, a thin thread of light winding through centuries of darkness. Why did Jehovah allow the test at all? Because love cannot exist without choice. Obedience that cannot be broken is not loyalty, it is programming. Jehovah wanted humans to love him willingly, not mechanically. Eve listened to another voice. Adam followed her rather than his God. Through them, sin entered, and with sin came imperfection, pain, and death. Yet Jehovah's purpose did not fail. Even as he spoke the sentence, he prepared the solution. The prophecy about the offspring of the woman was the first glimmer of the kingdom that would one day undo every effect of that rebellion. From that moment, the story of humankind became the story of restoration. Every prophet, every faithful servant, every act of mercy from Jehovah pointed back to this day in Eden and forward to the day when the promised one would finally appear. The character of God. In exile, Adam and Eve learned not only what disobedience cost, but what mercy meant. Each sunrise proved Jehovah's patience. He allowed them to live long lives, to see their children grow, to teach them about his sovereignty. Their lives, though burdened, were not abandoned. The first sacrifice of animals to clothe them hinted at a greater sacrifice to come, a life given to restore what sin had broken. Jehovah's justice demanded consequence, but his love prepared redemption. Every detail of the account reveals his balance, firm but kind, just but merciful, grieved yet still guiding. Reflections from the dust. Adam sometimes walked alone at dusk, looking toward the invisible line where Eden had once shimmered. He could not see the cherubs, but he could sense their presence, a silent reminder of the holiness he had lost. He remembered the weight of Jehovah's footsteps, the conversations that had once filled the air with joy. Now prayer replaced that nearness. Instead of seeing God face to face, he spoke through faith. And in those moments of quiet pleading, he understood that although the garden was gone, Jehovah still listened. Eve too found strength in remembrance. Her hands that once picked forbidden fruit now planted seeds that fed her family. Her sorrow became her teacher. Each child she held was proof that Jehovah's purpose, to fill the earth, had not ended with their failure. They lived, they worked, they grew old. Their story became humanity's story, a reminder that choices matter, that obedience preserves peace, and that even in exile, Jehovah's love remains reachable. The promise endures. The prophecy spoken in Eden became the heartbeat of history. It foretold a battle between good and evil that would stretch through time, between the serpent's offspring, those who followed his rebellion, and the woman's offspring, those loyal to Jehovah and ultimately the Messiah. Though Adam and Eve did not live to see that promise fulfilled, they helped begin the human family from which it would come. Their lives carried both warning and hope. Sin brings death, but obedience brings life. The paradise lost would one day be restored, not through human effort, but through the one Jehovah would send. Closing reflection. Eden's gate remained closed, yet its memory never faded from human longing. Every garden, every act of kindness, every yearning for peace is a faint echo of that first home. The fall was not the end of Jehovah's purpose. It was the beginning of his rescue. He had not changed. His standards had not weakened. But his mercy found a way to rebuild what rebellion had shattered. The story of Adam and Eve still speaks today. It warns against the subtle voice that questions God's wisdom. It teaches that freedom without obedience becomes slavery to sin. And it reassures us that Jehovah's love is stronger than failure. From the dust of disobedience grew the promise of salvation. From exile would one day rise a kingdom, and when that kingdom rules the earth, the words "paradise lost" will no longer belong to the past. They will describe what has been restored.